trying to catch you off guard to see if you weren't paying attention.
You didn't tell me you were going to start
I
it.
didn't say nothing, did I?
Dirty dog.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Hello. We are either blowing your ears out, we are not being able to be heard, or we have hit the nail right on the head. Who flipping knows?
Who knows at this point? First of all, I need to issue a public apology for whatever in the heck happened last week. I mean, we couldn't hear that. We couldn't hear the echo, the horrible audio. We had no idea until it was done, recorded, and we go to upload it, and it's like, uh-oh. And it was bad.
Like
so
Mitch recorded his on a flip phone.
Yes, and it was on my end. I don't know. I have no idea what. Dude, when I say we don't change anything, used to not change anything.
But boy, we changed it today.
We changed it today.
I got these hot A Mickey Mouse ears on. We both got interfaces hooked up to the computers instead of just running straight from the mics to the computers. We got the microphones. It's all up in my grill. I mean, this is I'm more intimate with this mic than I was my first girlfriend. I mean, Jesus.
Listen, this whole podcast thing, it's just going to be a very long and drawn out audio test
until somebody helps us.
But listen,
until somebody gives us some advice, and tells us
here's
what we're doing wrong.
Here's what we're doing. We're trying to improve.
Well, what did we say? What did I told Tommy the other night? We need to work for the audience that we want, not the audience that we have.
That's it.
Not that we don't love the audience that we have, but we want to push this thing and grow this thing to the audience that we want. You know,
we want more of you.
Yeah, we want it. I mean, look. I don't know, and I didn't intend on going down this road, but we can go down this road. Podcast is work.
And and we can discuss it on air or off air or whatever, but I'm going to take a class on that, on the Wondershare thing. I might get Tommy to show me what he knows, and we're going to rotate that. We're going to.
Well, that might be the easier part. It's the finding time to record.
Mm-hmm.
And then really, you know what the really hard part is actually like, which now that we're caught up, and maybe this might make it easier, to be honest with you. Now, I mean, because it's the 25th of August, and this is going to release in, 4 days?
Something like that.
So maybe the hard part to me is remembering what we talked about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, to do the publishing, to do the title, the taglines, to come up with something snazzy, and coming up, because we spend 2 hours recording, 2.5 hours recording. You can spend an hour editing or so, and then we listen to it again. We both listen to the podcast. So I mean, there's 5-6 hours, and I love it. And I don't want to change anything, but I mean, but let's be realistic. I heard today, you know how many hours we have in a week?
24 times 7.
168 hours. I only know that because that's my old badge number. When they said it, I was like, oh, that's my old badge number. That's easy. So we have 168 hours a week, and they're like, most people waste 30 of those in a week. I'm like, well, I'm not most people. I mean, because unless they call sleeping wasting, I mean, you just don't have that many extra hours in a day as an entrepreneur, as a business owner.
That's right. Yeah.
You just don't. You just fit it in.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna keep fighting the system.
Yeah.
And we'll come up with something. I mean, I'm not scared to invest in it.
No, I mean, I'm in it. I mean, I ordered that without a thought last night. I was like, all right, let's try this. Let's see if this will. Why
don't you go ahead and tell everybody? Just you look at you. You sit there wanting to tell everybody.
I didn't say
that's the whole reason you brought it up.
No, that's not why I said that. But it is super funny to me. So we're talking about like the audio thing, and we're like, how do we improve it? Should we go back with the interfaces? Do you want to try? I was like, well, I'll get one too, because Mitch already had one, but it was not working well during test sections when we first started this thing. So I think he threw it in the corner or something. I don't know what he did with it.
Yeah.
And then today he plugs it up and it decides to download software to his computer. So, which it didn't do the first time. So maybe it's going to work. But I was like, well, I'll order one as well. And so I texted him. I was like, ordered it. It'll be here in the morning. And he's like,
No. See, there you go again. There you go again with this half-truth crap.
Well, I did.
He ordered it at 8:33 last night.
Oh, is that what time it was? I was looking to see what time it was.
And at 5:51 a.m. today, that dirty, rotten son of a gun was sitting on his porch.
It was actually like 5:20 something. I waited a little bit.
We're talking not even 12. How do you order something from Amazon and get it less than 12 hours? Do you realize I would be bankrupt, broke, divorced, out of money, but I'd have some cool stuff.
It is super nice. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's a super convenient thing to have when you need something in a hurry. Like, I mean, it's amazing the things that we can get same day or overnight. I mean, it's shot. That is not something that I would have thought would have been overnight. I wouldn't have thought that was on the list.
I told him, I said, the heck, just walk next door and get it. Apparently, that's where everything on Amazon is.
And I said, why should I walk next door when it's going to come on its own?
Then I had to go to sleep all mad.
But yeah. Were you up this morning when I texted you? Or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, man. I was in and out. I don't do the phone first thing in the morning because I'm up, getting dressed, getting coffee, and I'm like, I've had enough of you, and I don't want to deal with you today, you being the phone.
You're actually pretty good about separating yourself from your phone. Like, I noticed that when you were up here that weekend. Like, you can set it down. You set it down, and like you'll walk away from it.
Oh yeah.
And I think that makes my anxiety go up when I'm separated from it. It's like my oxygen level is connected to the phone.
It can.
I know.
It can. I mean,
I wish it didn't.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you, from about 8:00 at night to 10, you will not get that phone out of my hand. I mean,
that's
kids.
Your downtime.
Yes, kids come in and, hey, Dad, I want it to. Nope, don't care. Go to bed. Go outside. Go do something. Don't care. Move on. But yeah, I do now. That's a conscious decision.
Yeah,
it's not natural because they're so easily. I mean, it's everything. It's everything at your fingertips, and it's really easy to get distracted. That came up during. Actually, we're going to talk about that. That came up in a conversation on the cabinet page.
Oh, really?
Yep.
See, I have like message anxiety. Like, I feel like I need to answer somebody as soon as I get the message.
Yeah.
But because the other thing is if I don't, I will forget to answer them.
Yep.
So it's like I got to do it now. Which, I mean, like I have a watch too. So like as soon as I get a notification, and the only reason really I started wearing the watch was because of like doing like loud things for work, like doing the remodel and stuff. Like my phone, you'll never hear my phone make a noise. Like it's always on silent. I use the flash. Like if you send me a text message, it flashes, but it's always on silent because I always have my watch on. So it makes it even harder to like ignore the message sometimes. Would
you be surprised to learn that I ran the old Apple Watch for about 6
when you
or
got
7
it,
months?
You hated it.
I originally liked it, but then it got to where it was just acting weird, and it wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah, it wouldn't. I started having technical issues with it. It's the only reason I got rid of it.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it doing?
It's like it wouldn't connect to it sometimes, and then I wouldn't get a text message, and it wouldn't show up. Like it would work one day and not work the next. And I don't know, some kind of I don't know.
They
what
can
the
be
deal is,
they can be finicky. They can be like they can have delays in the messages and things like that. I mean, I like mine. I mean, I walked 7,392 steps today.
And I need to get it back because I walk, like if I wear my phone in my pocket, it's in the shop working, or on the install, it's 10 to 12,000, 15,000 steps, depending on what we're doing. But again, I take my phone out, set it on the counter, and I get like 813 steps for the day.
Right.
And when you're on Weight Watchers, they count your steps, and the more steps you take, the more points they give you that day.
Are you still doing that?
Mm-hmm.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Are you watching the pounds melt away?
No, because I'm 40, and they don't do that.
Well, I told Kim actually at dinner, I said, I watched that reel that I made yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I did like a little like putting drawer boxes together. I did a little reel with putting drawer. I said, it's 89 degrees in my shop all the time. I'm just a puddle. You would think like the love handles would like melt off. Like,
Right.
They
Right.
don't.
They
I
don't.
was like, that's all I can see in that video is my. I was like, if my belly only hung in one direction, like instead of hanging off the belt in all directions, could I just get it to hang off in one side?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd feel better. I don't know which side I'd prefer it to hang from, but anyway, weird
Hey, welcome to getting older, man. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we got some doctor visit stuff to go over.
Gotcha.
Let's see, a couple of things going on. So why don't we kick it off with you?
No, I don't talk about me. Talk about you,
Mr. Amazon over there.
Well, I mean, I can go. It's been, I think, for both of us, it's been a week.
Yeah.
Boy, has it been a week. So my week. Let's start off with Monday. Pantry install on Monday morning. Get to the customer's house. Not a big install, so I'm by myself. No Derek, just a solo install. So I got to demo the pantry out. They just had some shelving to demo out. Didn't think it was be a huge deal for that. Lots of caulk, and apparently that pantry had been painted about 15 times. So
Oh, wow.
lots of layers to cut through. Like I had a hard time knifing through all the corners and everything. But anyway, knock on the door. It's super nice neighborhood. Like security at the gate is unreal. Like they're like, they won't let you in. They got to call the homeowner, make sure that you're allowed to be there. They know you're coming unless they pre-approve you on the list. And it's a nightmare. And all of us servants have to come in one gate. Like we can't use the residential gate. So it's
use a peasant gate.
Yes, all the landscapers, all the cabinet guys, the painters, we're all lined up. All the trades are lined up there trying to get in. So it's a mess. But anyway, so get in. Really super cool couple. Knock on the door, they let me in. And he's like, yeah, man, I've got the whole pantry emptied out, which is awesome because I've arrived before and the pantry still had stuff in it. And so we go around the corner and he's like, I just need to grab 2 more things. I'm like, all right, man, let's take a look at what we got. And as soon as I walked around the corner, I almost threw up. Instant anxiety, butterflies in my stomach, and I knew that I had messed up big time.
Uh-oh.
Big time. And I said, okay, man, I appreciate it. I walked out to go to the truck. I said, what in God's name has happened here? What's happened? Luckily, I had my notebook with me that I don't usually have, like my notes from like customer meetings. Pulled it out and looked. Go back into the house, run the tape measure, pull the book out. Yeah, that 71 was 71 inches, not 7 foot 1 inches. So on my notes, I wrote 71. I get home and draw it up as that the room is 7 foot 1 inches deep. It is 71 inches deep.
That daggone Pro 100, boy, it's sorry junk.
Nope. Not Pro 100. I had 7 foot 1 inches worth of cabinets dead on. And I was like, oh my God, this is a terrible phone. This is a terrible. So I got to call Derek. And boy, I have messed up. There's quite a bit of difference in this. I mean, we're talking feet.
That'd be 14 inches.
Yes. So so I've got extra cabinets. I've got too many cabinets, and so obviously he's like, do you think you'll be able to reuse them? I was like, what do you think the odds are that like I can
tell you what they are.
Big fat zero.
We did it at the same time.
Big fat zero.
Oh, donut hole, buddy.
So then the second worst part of this whole scenario is telling the customer I have severely messed up and to beg for some grace.
Yeah.
So there's nothing I can do except for own it, explain to them what happened. I messed up. And this is a 2-phase install. So I got to get the lowers in so that they can have the marble guys come map the pantry so that they can put stone on. Once the stone's on, then I can put the shelves back because the shelves have to, the ends of them have to sit on the countertop for support. Mm-hmm. On one wall does. So now I've delayed the whole project. So this is Monday. I said, I will be back Wednesday. And he's like, you'll be back Wednesday? I said, I will be back Wednesday. Whatever it takes, I will be back Wednesday. So go back, get them rebuilt, nonetheless. Ended up being able to use the back cabinet. So like if you looked straight into the pantry, the cabinet that was in the back, I was able to use it. I was able to use one of the single door cabinets, and then so I basically just built a cabinet to go between the end and that single door, and had to redo the left cabinet. So I ended up only having to build 2 cabinets. So it wasn't, all in all, it wasn't too bad. But of course, they're drawer cabinets.
Oh,
so
yeah. Yep.
you know, so 6 drawers, 6 drawer faces. You know. Luckily, though, all the cabinets that I'd taken, because I knew that we were just getting them in so that we could get stone mapped. I wasn't super in a hurry to get the door faces or the drawer faces, or doors and drawer faces done. So I had not built any of them. So none of them had. So none of that was wasted. So
that saved you some work.
No wasted. Yeah. So no waste there. But I got a really cool 3 drawer pull out underneath my table saw now.
Yay!
And I got a bank of cabinets on a wall over there that have got a bunch of drawers in them as well. So
I've got entire linens on a big shelf in the back. I've got 2 of them, and I don't even remember what
where they
happened
came from.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to be able to use them in the shop. So not a complete loss, but boy, that messed up the day. Then Tuesday morning, I'd already promised Derek I was going to go help him. So we went and what did we do first? Oh, we went to change out some hinges at a house, the laundry room from hell. Got those overset and got that one. And then we went to this house, and the detail in this house is just amazing. This has to be at least a $10 million build. I mean, I and if I'm lying, if I'm exaggerating, strike me down. But there's just no way between the lot and the view. The lot alone was probably a million or two. I mean, it's just incredible up on top of this huge hill, and then just the detail in this house is amazing. The gym, yes, the gym is probably the size of my entire downstairs.
Hey, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
You're talking like show enough then.
Two islands in the kitchen, about 5 foot wide, and both of them are probably 12 to 14 feet long. It's just unreal. When you go you go down the hallway to turn to the master bedroom, and just this like scalloped paneling on the walls. It's just like flutes, almost like fluted wall. And there's guys in their hand doing. It's crazy, just the detail in that house. But just the closet, the master closet, is 25 by 35, probably. Glass doors, like it's just.
See, my 4 pair of pants and 3 shirts would look really stupid in that closet.
Man, this is. I looked and I was like, this is a lot of clothes. Like,
yeah.
You everything's. I guess everything's cataloged in these. I don't know. I mean, you know how many people live in this house?
2, 3.
3 people. It's the husband, the wife, and a 13-year-old daughter. The 13-year-old daughter's room and bathroom is like a luxury hotel suite. It is just nuts. It was just insane.
So do you think she lets that get to her head? Do you think she's going to be one of those that...
I don't know. I mean...
Hard to tell.
California money coming over here.
Mm-hmm.
He's some executive with Lexus. But they're doing some super cool things with the house. I will give them that. I mean, just some detail and some things. In the words of John, what's his name? Spare no expense.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh, what's his name?
Welcome to Jurassic Park. What was his name in that movie?
I have no idea what you're talking about, so don't ask me.
The old guy in Jurassic Park. That's his tagline. He goes, "Spare no expense."
No, I don't know.
Oh. But we went, just delivered a bunch of doors and all that stuff, and then and a 17-foot long countertop.
What material?
White oak.
Ooh, my favorite.
If the house had banisters in it, it'd still be sitting outside.
Really?
There would be no way we would have gotten it up them stairs if banisters had been installed already. I mean, barely got it installed in there, but they were still painting. They're using their own painters, and the room that's going in, they're painting black, and their painters are struggling with getting the black.
Oh, of course, I bet.
Jeff, I still got you on the hook. We're going to talk about some paint. I ain't forgot about you. Hey, and guess what happened today? thanks to my lovely wife, Jeff's hat went in the mail.
Thank you, Kim.
Yep. Now, and I do need to give good credit to my mom. My mom called me as we were going to Chattanooga last weekend to move Taylor. She said, hey, I'm off that day. Bring me the hat, and I will be your secretary for the day, and I'll go and mail it. And I forgot it. So, Mom, thank you for that, though. She was willing to help out. And then Kim was listening to the podcast yesterday. She said, give me the guy's address. Give me the guy's address right now. And I was like, so I sent it. She's like, I'm mailing. I'm tired of hearing episode after episode of you saying you're going to send this guy a hat, and you still hadn't sent it. Like, but it's in the mail. It's gone. Whoop. So
yeah, I've still got your hat stickers here.
Well,
now to be fair, I have gone to the post office like 2 or 3 different times, and they've been closed because they're open from 8 to 8:12 in the morning. And I'm like, why do we have a post? I don't know why we have a post office. There's 8 people that live here.
Why can't we privatize the postal service and make it a profitable business? But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's profitable.
So got that done and then started on. So I've got a little side gig tomorrow morning. Old customer from the remodel days wants some like board and batten style detail done on the hallway, so I'm gonna do that in the morning at 7:30 in the morning, because it's hot.
Yeah.
I don't know anywhere else in the world it's hot in the South. It's hot.
We're gonna talk about that too.
It's so hot, but so ripped up a bunch of MDF strips today. Get that done, and then yesterday. So when I text you, I don't think I ever told you the resolve to that. So go to start on this white oak hutch. And I cut the first cut of white oak ply, and then I go back to my cut list, and I look, and I'm like, why do I have so many number 5s? Well, what is number 5? So I go down, number 5, left side. There's only... Now, it is like, I did build it as like a lower hutch and an upper hutch, so there would be 2 left sides. But I'm already 1 extra. And I know that one should be way longer than the other one.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is something's not right? And then I look again. So the side or the sub assembly for it says single door opening. I'm like, there's no single door opening on this. What is going? And this is the only thing I hate about software. And it's a good thing for you, but like the bad thing for me is like I don't have the computer that I do everything on is here at the house. Which I can load. I just got to remember to take that stupid key back and forth. But I can load it on the shop computer. Because I do have one there just for like watching YouTube while I eat lunch and like printing. Like I can log onto my Google Drive and print documents from there. So I need to do that. I need to replace it because I knocked it off and broke the screen while I was moving. But
I wonder if you could screen share.
Maybe. Well, I'd have to up the subscription because you and I screen share, so you can only screen share one computer. But I could change the subscription.
I mean, I'm just an idea because we extracted a file from my computer and put on your computer the other day, and I can drive your program from my computer.
Right.
So,
I mean, if it's like
$5 a month,
right?
Then yeah. But if it's 100, take your key with you.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I'm so terrified of that key. So the software, for if you don't know what we're talking about, so the software that we use has a security dongle that goes in the USB drive, and if that thing is not in the USB drive,
you ain't getting in the program.
It says no go, buddy. So
that's why I couldn't just give the program to. I couldn't make a copy of the software and give to Travis because that sucker. If you don't have that dongle, now whether or not you can replicate that dongle.
I don't even. That's above my pay grade. I don't even.
I'm just saying.
And I don't like
somebody
using the word dongle
somewhere.
this much. I have to be honest with you.
Dongle is a cool word.
Well, my kids look at me really funny when I tell them to go find my mouse dongle. I'm just saying they do.
I probably would too.
Right.
I probably would too.
But anyway,
I was gonna.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say something while you're talking about that. You caught because this is a question. You caught yourself when you saw that piece of wood on that plywood, and granted you already cut it, but you caught yourself and you're like, why do I have one of these? Why is this? When I started using that program, I caught myself doing that. because you're familiar with every single piece of wood on that cabinet job.
Yeah.
And if you get something weird like that, and I still do it, it still happens, it'll be something, I'm like, why is that piece rabbited, So it could be a good thing, because you'll learn to pay attention to your cut list, and when you see something that doesn't look right, you just look at the drawings or something. And
it definitely would have cost me a full sheet of white oak ply at $120 a sheet.
I'm about to say, because white oak ply is not cheap.
So that's fine, and it's really easy to get your hands on too.
No, yeah.
but yeah, so I was like, so anyway, ended up coming home, getting on the computer, and couldn't figure out what had happened. I couldn't figure out why I did it, and I like Emmanuel. He's not gonna listen to this, so I'll just be honest. I like Emmanuel a lot. He's the help guy. You're just easier to talk to because you understand me a little bit better, I think. But I tend to get better results when I just go to you than him.
Yeah.
So I hit you up. I was like, because I don't know if you're in the shop, out of the shop, and I know you're busy too. But like it was burning a hole in my soul trying to figure out what was going on with this. So I texted Emmanuel too, and he's like, give me 10 minutes. I was like, cool. And about the time that he was getting ready to call, I said, you responded. I said, no, I got him. And he couldn't figure out why I did it either. So I'll fill you guys in. So basically, we designed the cabinets in software called Pro 100, and then we get this Excel sheet that it creates, and we take that Excel sheet and we import it into another program called CutList Plus. And CutList Plus, what it does is it takes all the materials that we've told Pro 100 that we're using, and it sorts them, and then it lays them out on a 4x8 sheet of plywood in a manner so that you get the best use of your materials and that you get the least number of cuts possible. So it just does an algorithm to kind of do the work for you.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't figure out, so we went back and looked at the Excel sheet, no single door opening on it. I'm like, I don't know. And Emmanuel's like, I don't know either. Like, this has got me interested. And so he's like, well, I'll redo it. So he went to go resave, and I said, well, that one right there is the one I made last night because I had to change the size of the cabinet. So I had to redo the cut list. So I was like, that's the one that I just did. And he opened it up, no two-door opening on it, or single door opening on it. He's like, I don't understand this. So long story short, essentially what we think I did is that I didn't clear out the previous cut list, and I just brought another cut list and added to it, which I didn't know you could do. Like, I didn't know that you could just add, which is kind of cool to know, but you got to be careful that you do that.
Yeah.
So single door opening was from the pantry. That was where that cabinet was from.
Yeah. So let's pretend that you have 5 different rooms of cabinets, right? And you save one as Smith kitchen. This is Smith bathroom, Smith laundry. You can go into cut list and upload Smith kitchen, and then just go back to Pro 100, export, Smith laundry, go to cut list, import Smith laundry, and it just keeps stacking them.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, once you exit out of cut list, it shouldn't do that. So then the only way for you to add on something that was already there is for it to have remained open on your computer and you never closed it out or something from the last time. I think
that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
yep.
So the software it was me this time for sure. Now we had the other software, and Emmanuel asked me, he's like, so how are you on the software now? And I said, look, Mitch and I had a long tutorial, and that whole flipping, and I'm not going to get into it because if you, for the people listening,
mess your brain up.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, and it still twists my head to try to even think about it. But basically, I was like, the way Mitch explained, because here's the thing, Emmanuel knows the software, no doubt. Forward, backwards, inside and out, like there's no doubt about it. Like I don't know if he coded it or I don't know what his role exactly is.
I don't either. I ain't never asked him.
But there's no doubt in my mind that he knows the product, right? But what he doesn't know is building a cabinet.
Yeah.
And him trying to explain it to me, he was not explaining it in a way that as a builder that I understood what he was saying.
Bingo. You
as a builder of a cabinet explained it in a way I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm getting a piece that won't do what I want it to do. all consistently. So
Yeah.
and again, I won't get into the minutia of what it does and all that, but I was ready to. I mean, I was ready to cry. Like, I mean, I was looking at options like, can I sell this dongle back? This Mitch was like, I might buy a second one. Like, I mean, I just was overly stimulated with the software, and it was causing extreme anxiety in my life.
Yeah,
because I get, and that's what I told him anyway. I get stuff like this usually pretty well. Like, I usually don't struggle with tech, so to speak. Not Instagram stories, I kind of struggle with, but tech, I usually get, without a whole lot of struggle, and it was killing me,
Yeah.
It was, and so my frustration level was just, which leads to zero confidence when you go to do the build, zero,
Yeah, and beating on your door is the customer. And, man, I got to start cutting this stuff out tomorrow. I don't have 2 days to sit around and take classes and try to figure this out on my own. I mean, because I remember you were under some pressure.
Yeah.
You were like, man, I got to get this thing going. And I felt, horrible for you because I've been there.
Yeah.
Well,
and you got to remember, in our business, every day you're not producing, you're just losing money. I mean, you're stretching your payday out further and further and further away. I mean, if you're not running materials on a saw, I mean, there's some other things we do, obviously, but if you're not running materials on a saw, you're losing money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the down. I mean, and sitting in the computer, it's a vital, important part for me. I really depend on the software. I'm not going to lie, but I don't have 8 hours to put into designing a hutch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not talking about a full kitchen. I mean, I was like 6-8 hours on a cabinet.
Yeah.
I got it now. You should see the one. I'll send you a picture tonight of the one I did last night. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm telling you, and just like I said, as soon as you get used to the little shortcuts and the clicky clicks, it goes.
Well, once I understood to put the piece in on the view that I wanted to be in when I put it in, that changed. Yeah. That solved everything. That's what that's without a doubt. That's what I was doing. I was putting a piece in and then changing the view and trying to make it do what I wanted to do, and that was 100% what it was. But
well, what else?
Man, well, so did that, and then so I went on a little journey today, little jaunt. Left the house at 5:40. Got down to the shop, hooked up to the trailer at 6. Arrived at the destination I was going to install at 8.
Ooh.
2-hour drive, 98 miles. One way.
And how often did you think, did I forget my hammer? Did I bring this? Did I bring that?
Not a single time.
Really?
Nope. You know why? Because I contemplated just putting this cabinet on the truck and grabbing what I needed and just taking the truck. I didn't do that. I threw the cabinet on the trailer, hooked to the trailer, and drove off.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've done that. That is a horrible idea.
Yeah. Now that I have the trailer, and I pretty much, the only thing I think that I grabbed from the shop and I have one on the trailer, it's just a very crappy one, was my good jigsaw. That's the only thing I grabbed. I mean, having the trailer fully set up for an install and nothing comes off of there is anxiety level.
Yeah.
Just bottoms
because now the
out.
only thing you can forget is the cabinets.
Yeah. Or like I did the other day, I was like, ooh, those are going to be battling drawers. On the way to pick up the trailer, I was thinking about 2 drawers in a corner. I was like, oh, those are going to be battling drawers. So I grabbed an extra piece of 3/4 and made me a little 3/4, made me a little spacer to push one cabinet over just a little bit more, just so that they would clear each other. But yeah, not worried about it at all. But that was a conversation that we had. I mean, because I was like, I just don't want to drag that trailer that far. Because last week my gas bill last week was the highest gas bill I've had since I've been doing cabinets. I mean, it was $400.
And that's not necessarily a good thing.
No.
I mean, some of y'all are hearing that going, wow, he's installing a lot of stuff. Well, not all the time.
Nope. A lot of it's lots of consults last week. I had a ton of consults last week, which means there are coming. So
I don't understand that. Like, it was quiet around here for 3 or 4 weeks. And then in the last week and a half, I did 2 consults. I got 3 new sets of plans from builders that I my regular builders. I've got 2 sets of plans from other people. I've got people just bombarding me, and it all comes in at once, and then it'll be quiet. It'll be quiet for a month, and I don't understand. It's like, are you guys doing this on purpose, or what do y'all,
And see, for me, I would say it's all in our social media postings. Now, for you, I don't know what it is, but I mean, for us, it is 100% associated to what we're posting is what's coming in the door. Like,
yeah.
And if we slow down our postings, if it's longer between installs, then it's longer between leads coming in. I broke 400 followers this week. I know that's not a big deal, but I did break 400 followers on Instagram. So
on Instagram,
a little bit of a mild step. I mean, getting there. I mean,
keep pushing, man.
I work on it. I mean, I do. But anyway, so let me wrap up real quick so you can go in. So go get there, do the install. So this is actually the rebuild. If you remember, this is the lake house where the customer gave us the measurements, and she measured the wall wrong. So this was the center dresser to go between the big two hutches or closets.
Yeah.
So got those in. Had a little bit of trouble with the doors. So they had big doors and they were full overlays. And I think I might have used the wrong hinge. I'm not 100% sure because I don't do a whole lot of full overlay. But I just use a 1/2 inch overlay hinge. No. That's because that's the one I called you about. I was like, hey, I got these 1.5 inch overlays. But it didn't, like when it opened, so this is the flat edge. It didn't like swing it in any. It overlapped. So the countertop, when I put the top in on the dresser part, I ended up having to pull it back out a couple of times and round over and pull back the corners because the doors were actually hitting it.
Yeah.
Because it was, when I say full overlay, it was full overlay, baby. It wasn't nothing.
Was jacked.
There was no fuss. It was almost frameless. Like, I mean, you couldn't tell no face frame was on there.
I didn't even know that hinge existed, man.
Oh, it was crazy. We got some. Hey, how about we put on some 1 9/16 yesterday?
Hey,
big old overlays. But got her installed up, and then drove another 90 miles to Nashville. Picked up the MDF for tomorrow. Come back, strip those down, and then I paid the piper for not being organized. So, I bought all that Milwaukee stuff, so that everything would have a home and everything, would live where it's supposed to be. Well, I over time, I ended up buying one more Milwaukee tote for jobs like this one. This one was down in a basement. Well, I'm not dragging all those toolboxes down in a basement and then dragging them all back up. So I bought one more tote so I could just put what I needed in the tote and carry it down. Well, that tote has become like my main toolbox, and it was like a mountain on top.
Oh, yeah.
And I pull back up at the shop, and I open the door, and it has flipped over.
Oh, no.
And everything is everywhere in the trailer.
It's just back there the whole time.
Oh, just the whole time. Just getting further and further away, going underneath stuff. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, my gosh. So, spent the next 2 hours, like, everything is where it belongs.
Yeah.
Everything is right where, you just got to. But it's 98 degrees. It's 65% humidity. You've been out there for 4 or 5 hours. You're smoked, and it's just throw in the trailer. Throw in the trailer. Let's go. And that happened about 3 or 4 times over the last couple of jobs, and I paid the piper for it today. It's not worth it. People, put your stuff up. Just take the 10 extra minutes. Travis, take the 10 extra minutes and put the stuff up, and then you wouldn't spend 2 hours in a hot, sweaty trailer trying to put it all up. Like that's bad math. It's bad math.
You could do like we do. Now my rule is, small things like it has to go back into the box it came out of. Bits, screws, drill bits, that sort of thing, right? But we're really organized whenever we load the trailer. Like our little basket that we have is packed and organized. There's no trash, all that stuff. And we unload it. Everything comes out good. But, man, when it's time to load up, on the trailer. Outside of that, I don't care. It's stacked up. It's, everywhere. And then what we do is the next morning, when it's cool outside.
Yeah.
We unload the trailer and we get everything reorganized. We also do inventory the next morning.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten to a job site before and my screw box was missing like 3-inch screws. I didn't have any. It was like 3 down in there, you know.
Yeah.
So when we unload it, we walk right beside the inventory room, which is where I keep all the consumables, and we just top everything off and then take it back into the shop. But, you know, yeah, when it's time to go, buddy, it's time to go. And we left one Thursday, and I said, I don't give a flying fart.
Right.
Get it on the trailer.
Front wheels were off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta go.
You people, man, you people that deal with these freaking homeowners and these remodels and this, I'm telling you, I don't see how in the world you do it, man. There's no chance. Nope.
It's so funny.
God, I hate people, man.
Well, and then my last big accomplishment for the week, I got an account set up with Worth.
Oh,
Hallelujah.
well, congratulations.
Yeah,
somebody should have had the applause button ready.
Well, I thought about it, but it was too far away. I didn't feel like it. But I should get a standing ovation for the energy and the amount of work that it took to get somebody to let me pay them for their products.
You almost cussed 12 times right there.
I did. It's just it is unbelievable to me.
I'm telling you.
The amount of phone calls and the amount of begging that I had to do. Say, we would like to spend money with you.
Yep.
Do you have too many accounts? Like is there another sales rep that you can hand me off to?
Do you make too much money and you're scared of making more money?
Also, by the way, buddy, if you're not going to respond to text messages, you should turn the read receipts off.
Yeah.
Because I can see that you read my message 3 days ago and you didn't do anything. Like,
all that. How close are they to you?
About like Nashville Plywood was, so 30, 40 minutes. So
yeah,
it is. It is what it is. Not bad, but
Here's what I do. I picked a salesman, and I powdered his butt, buddy. I
tried that with this guy. I was like, look. Here's the situation. Nashville Ply is moving. It's not good for us. I have tried a couple of times to actually set up an account with Worth. I would really like to do business with Worth. I know your prices are good. I know you have good products. Can you be my guy? Oh, yeah. Well, we'd be happy to take care of you.
Yeah.
3 days later. Hey, where are we at?
So Worth has that reputation.
Yeah.
But there's one dude up there that gives a crap. And you just have to find him.
I'd would like to meet him. But yeah, so we got that set up. So we're looking forward to that. But we've got a mom and pop place that at Mims Lumber that also we always that's who we get all of our like ash stock, white oak stock, all the maple and the pine. And I forget that they do ply, like they do sheet goods. So I think we're really going to focus on sheet goods from them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like in Derek's back door. Like they're the ones that'll forklift stuff to his shop.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're that
close.
Yeah,
that'll work.
And it's a father-son business. Neither one of them have any personality whatsoever, but they're really good guys. You don't feel like it. You don't feel like it when you're in there, though. You're like,
yeah. I got cussed out the other day by the owner of my plywood rep because I was asking about liners. Yeah.
Well, is this where they put the liners in the wrong? They shipped them together.
So what it was I was there picking up some stuff, and understand that the owner and I, we badger each other all the time. Like, we're buddies. Okay. So don't hear that they were actually cussing me out. But anyway, I go in there and I ordered my few little sheets of plywood and this and that. And I said, listen, I ordered these hoods from you guys. Remember, I started buying my hoods through them. And I said, I ordered these hoods and I can't find the liners anywhere. And Charles, who was the owner, he was like, what you trying to say, man? You trying to say we stealing from you? Is that what you trying to say? And I said, well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I can't find my liners and I ordered them. So you make of that whatever you will, He's like, well, that sounds like a personal problem to me. I ain't got no dog in that hunt. As far as I know, you got them. And so anyway, we had a good time, but we found them. We eventually found them. Surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Are you done? Or are you going to keep going?
I'm done like a Christmas ham. What are you talking
Because
about?
I'm gonna retell some old stories. So back in 2017, my brother was.
Why do I look so sunburned?
You look red.
I don't, dude. I think
It's that shirt.
It's the shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, I love this company. Eagle 6 Gear. If anybody's curious who makes these, they got awesome AR shirts. And they're super breezy. Like you ain't wearing this shirt in the fall. I'm telling you. Your nipples will cut glass. I mean, they're super breathy.
Don't tempt me with a good time, buddy.
I mean, they're super breathy. They flow and they let the air come in. I love them, but they're good company. Anyway, all right. So what's been up with you? Tell me.
There's a lot of stuff happened this week.
Just rapid fire. Let's go. You got 4 minutes.
So, we got done with the big job.
Yay!
The big job is done.
That one's finally done.
The builder decided to play with me a little bit because I told him, I said, listen, man, I ain't been paid in 6-7 weeks dealing with your stinking self on this stupid big freaking house.
Working around your tilers it take.
Yeah. And he's like, well, that ain't no big deal. I had to pay you $20,000 down out of my personal checking account because the bank don't give us any money. So, just whenever. So that's kind of how he is too, And so we got done with it, and I told him, I said, listen, here's where we're at. We're done, this and that, whatever. He's like, all right, sounds good. He goes, oh, by the way, they want a cabinet above the toilet upstairs. I said, huh? He said, yeah, she just told me yesterday. And I was like, hey, I don't have a problem with that. It's another trip charge, but, whatever. It is what it is at this point. It's just money now.
Somebody on the cabinet page yesterday referred to those to head knockers.
Yeah, well, depends on where you mount them.
Right. He's like, I got a head knocker cabinet. I was like, what? And then a couple things down, he's like, one over the toilet. And I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we got done. So Tuesday, Monday we went and picked up the crown and quarter round for that job. It was a custom molding job. And went up to Mr. Doug's house. First time Tammy met Mr. Doug, and they hit it off. And I mean, Mr. Doug, he's just a southern, cat. You know what I'm saying?
Have we met this character before? Has he been introduced already? Okay.
Nope. Mr. Doug, he's, 70-something years old, and he's got a sawmill and he's got a 6-head SMC molding machine. And he's got a bunch of really cool stuff like sliding saws. His bandsaw is 10 foot tall, and the wheels are 4 foot in diameter. Sucker weighs 3,000 pounds.
Oliver's or?
Yeah, it's an Oliver. So he's got some really old tools. I mean, World War II stuff. He's just a cool dude. I like to go over there and I'll talk to him all day. And I'm like, man, don't let me hold you up. And he goes, man, we sitting around drinking a Coke. You hold me up, But anyway, we went over there and got that Monday. Tuesday, we loaded everything up that we had to take up there to the Patels. Got everything done, put the hardware on, put the drawer fronts on. It was 180 doors and fronts, 64 drawers. Like I said, huge job. Got done. Anyway, I'm up there finishing up. Jason comes and he's like, well, how's it going, man? I said, oh, it's going good. Just hanging my scribe. We're about to wrap up. He's all right, good. I said, what you doing up here? And he goes, well, we just touching up some stuff. Tile guy was there again. I don't think a man's ever left.
He must not need a check.
Golly, man. But anyway, and he acts just like ain't nothing going on. And we're talking like this dude owes me some money. Now, he's not late because I don't require money till I'm done. So, there's like this. I'm like, I really want to ask him, hey, did you bring that check?
It's like you can smell the hamburgers cooking.
Yeah, because I am hemorrhaging, brother. I need this sucker.
When is going to be ready?
And anyway, he talks, and he acts like he's walking into the house. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he turns around, and I mean just as nonchalant as you, and he just flips me a check like that and just kind of winks at me and walks inside. And I was like, you dirty dog. Had me nervous. So anyway, Tammy said that she actually cried a little bit.
Nice.
Because I texted her immediately. I was like, we got the check, And And she's like, heck yeah. And he goes, I know still owe you some money because she added on, she upgraded hardware, added a few things. And I was like, dude, I don't care about that right now.
Right.
Just whenever you get settled up with them, let's go. But, so anyway, did that. And I said, I'll have the crown back up here. Remember the crown we went and got the day before? It's in the shop.
Okay.
And so Tammy went out and primed it while we were up there working on the house. I came back that evening and we finished spraying the crown and the quarter round, loaded it up on the trailer, and went right back up to Wetumpka again.
Wow. And
unloaded the crown. And she's like, I can't believe you're going back up there. And I said, you don't understand how bad I want to be done.
Yeah.
And my hands wide. And it wasn't a bad job. It was just big. Right.
And long. It's
and long. So I was like, listen, I want to be done. I want to be done. So I'm taking it up there. So trip up there, unload it, trip back.
It's kind of like Eeyore, in Winnie the Pooh. Just that dark thunder cloud just keeps following around.
That's it.
You're like, I'm really ready to shake this cloud, man.
So we got done. We met with the Patels there, and I can say their last name because there's a bazillion of them around here.
Right.
But anyway, they were there. We came rolling up about 6:30. Here I come with a cabinet trailer, and they're like, what are you doing? I said, well, we're going to drop your crown off and yada, yada. And something that kind of made me feel good was they were bragging to me about the builder.
Ah.
And they were like, hey, he does good work, solid wood, no paper wood. They called it paper wood, no paper wood, solid wood everywhere, a lot of detail. And of course, you and I turn on this switch and we go, yes, man, your house is so beautiful, yada, yada. I love this. I love this huge freaking slick as snot on a gold tooth tile that you guys decided to put all throughout your house that kills your absolutely kills your feet. But I was like, man, that tile is so pretty. Oh, yeah. We went light color, big pieces, look bigger in there. Makes it look, I said, oh, man, it's great. And it's easy to clean.
You don't allow shoes, you don't have to worry about sliding. You're barefoot, you stick to it.
Let me tell you something. But you walk in there with shoes on, you best be careful. I mean, it is slick.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, yeah, it'd be easy to clean. I'm chumming them up, whatever. And they were like, oh, yeah, cabinet's great. A lot of detail, and they noticed things like the same gap around the doors. They noticed joints, or actually noticed that there weren't any, and I was like, wow, these people, actually understand kind of what's going on. Super nice folks, never had any trouble out of them. But they were happy. And so what I did was the next day when I was talking to the builder about another job, I told him, I said, hey, just letting you know they were bragging on you. He's like, oh, yeah? And I said, yep. They said you use quality people and quality work. And, I said, you only fussed at them one time. And he's like, yeah, I did have to say something to them once. Because they were like, hey, what about this? And what about that? And he's like, well, we got to come back. Like a little ding in the sheetrock or something somewhere, It
ain't done.
He said, listen, when I'm done, we're going to walk through the house, and any tiny detail you don't like, we fix. But until then, you have to let us, work. So that was it, and that was done. Let me see. I had the remodel that. I got to be careful.
Okay.
Because he's a friend of mine.
Okay.
So I'm going to tread lightly here because I don't have any disdain for the people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I have extreme amount of disdain for the job.
Project, not the person.
Yep. We started it. It got delayed 2 years. Nobody remembers what we talked about. I had cabinets made and doors done sitting in this man's house 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea even what the job was, no idea what I was supposed to do, what they were supposed to do.
It's a hell of an acclimation period.
Yeah. It turns out the clear coat may or may not have yellowed a little bit on the doors, and since we didn't clear coat the frames are nice bright white and the doors aren't.
Really?
So that was a learning curve. I used a different
Why did
clear.
they yellow, do you think?
Apparently, the clear coat that I used back then had nitrocellulose in it. Now, your paint guy can probably tell us if I'm wrong, which I don't think he will because I believe I'm right. but nitrocellulose lacquers will yellow. And the one that we use now does not. So, they just kind of darkened up a little bit over time. And
I mean, were they like sitting in the sun? Like, were they sitting in a place where like sunlight hit them a lot, or?
I don't think all of them, but they could have been. They could have been. I don't know if he had them stood up, because he had them in his old house that nobody lived in. And I said, dude, you got to have some kind of air on in here. He's like, oh yeah, we keep it going. So,
yeah.
So there's that. And I talked to the homeowner about it, and she was like, it's fine. And then she messaged me later and said, let me get some of that glaze, and I'll just lightly rub them and see if we can kind of blend the frames in with the doors. And I said, whatever you want to do.
So how many days? Is that the Greenville job?
Mm-hmm.
How many days were you down there on that?
We did the initial install, and then we ran into all kinds of issues. But we were able to get it ready for granite template, and then we came back. And now coming back got delayed because I said, yeah, I'll see y'all in a couple of days. And then crap went haywire here.
Gotcha.
And I was like, look, I'm not going to be able to make it. And they're not like, they got some other stuff to do, but I still felt bad because I told them I'd be there and I wasn't,
right.
But things happen. Tammy's dad passing away, that held us up a little bit from the first, and, but we get there and I had to make the top. I was matching stuff that was already there. They only replaced half the cabinets. And so I made the top openings 4.5. But I made my drawers 4.25 tall because it was 2 years later, and I don't remember,
right.
having to do that. So I get there and they're scrubbing on the top. So I had to take them back and cut them down to 4 inches and then adjust the guy. It was a terror.
Yeah.
Holy terror. She thought everything was supposed to be soft closed. And I was like, not the drawers. And she's like, well, I want them soft closed. And then we had an issue with some of the drawer fronts. To do a 5-piece raised panel drawer front, it has to be over a certain height because you have a panel in the middle that's got details. So if you make that drawer too small, your middle panel disappears.
Right.
You literally don't have a spot to put your hardware. So the drawer fronts that were under the required size were slab, and over the required size were 5-piece.
Yeah.
So she had one cabinet with, some of them were slabs, some of them 5, but she didn't like that. I want them all. I'd rather have them all slabs. I'm like, okay. The trash can is too small. Even though there's 2 35-quart cans, we fill it up too fast. I want to put taller cans in. Can you order us a taller door? Crap like that, man. That just nickel and dimes you and takes forever to finally get closure on it. So
there's some things like that I just don't understand. I mean, like, we have that same, you were here, we have that same pull out, and like, one's our recycle bin and one's our trash bin, and we empty it it gets emptied like every other day. Like,
we're a family of 5. We don't fill up our single trash can every day.
Like, I just don't get what are you
so,
throwing away?
Like, I'm at the point where I'm like,
but like some people, like, we take big stuff to the trash. Like, if it's big, you don't put it like a milk carton, milk jug.
That's right.
That goes to the trash. You don't put that in the can and just take it out.
Yeah.
Like, just walk it out. Like,
yeah. But that's one of them. I'm just ready to
be done.
Like, whatever. You want soft close? Fine. You want a big door? Fine. You want to swap all these out? Fine. I don't care anymore.
All right.
Again, it's nothing personal. It's just that's just how this job is gone. So,
do I know this person?
You say you don't, but you do.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about then. But I don't know who you're talking about.
That's right. But you really do.
I don't think I do.
I had a doctor's appointment. Did I tell you about? I told you about the heel spur.
Yeah, we saw the X-rays.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something. My mom, when we went to Chattanooga, all she could talk about was that picture you posted of your toe curled back like
Look,
that.
y'all finna get off my toes now.
She said, I said, I don't know if I would just rather have a picture of the position Mitch was in.
I was about to fall.
To get the toe to do that.
She's like, well, just turn your ankle like this and turn your foot. I'm like, I can't. What are you talking about? I can't do that. What, do you think I'm a gymnast or something? I'm 40 and I'm fat. I'm going to fall out of this stupid chair in here. But anyway, they got the radiology report back.
Uh-huh.
And and I'm not going to spend too long on this, but the radiology report said my foot was fine. There was nothing wrong with it.
Did you tell him that my limp says something different?
I'm not, and I actually told the lady at the doctor's office, I said, listen, I ain't trying to do nobody else's job. I'm not a vet, but I know a horses when I see one. And I said, excuse my language, but there's a huge freaking bone spur on the back of my heel that you can, it's not tiny, it's big.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I'll get her to go over the notes and we'll call you back. Thank you. Calls me back 3 days later. Yeah, the radiology report says everything's fine. I said, lady, I don't give a about the radiology report.
I can see it.
I'm not worried about the report. Have you seen the X-ray?
Yes.
Oh no, the doctor doesn't look at X-rays. She just reads the radiology report. I said, okay. Gave her a doctor's name. I said, refer me to this doctor because I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And so I called the podiatrist. I called his office. I was like, hey, I need to schedule an appointment. She's like, well, you got to have a referral. They were supposed to send it a week ago. This was yesterday.
Oh, wow.
They were supposed to send it a week ago. We hadn't got it. She goes, but hang on. I'll call you right back. She calls me right back. She said, I called over there. They had it ready. They just hadn't sent it.
A week later.
A week later. You can't send an email in a week. And so I'm extremely frustrated, and I'm trying to keep my personal beliefs when it comes to things like that off the podcast because it's going to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. But when I have to request my own X-rays to see them, and my doctor's office calls me and says, can you email us those X-rays? And I have to email my doctor from my personal computer my own X-rays.
Yeah.
So they can look. It's like, this is ridiculous now. So anyway, I went to this doctor. And, of course, I didn't see him. You know, I saw his PA, VA, KA, NA, whatever. And so she's down there feeling around on my foot. And she's looking at the X-rays. So the diagnosis is, of course, Achilles tendonitis. And they wrote me a prescription for some really strong anti-inflammatories. She said, we got to get it calmed down. We're not really worried about the bone spur because the bone spur is an after effect of what you really have going on. You get tendonitis first, then the bone tries to protect it. The bone spur isn't causing this, it's the tendonitis. And she said, we really don't want to do steroid shots unless we absolutely have to, because when you go to dinking around down there around your Achilles heel and you prick it, you got problems. So anti-inflammatory, stretch it, that sort of thing, and we'll see what happens.
But she did say that there was a bone spur.
Yeah.
And the other person said there was nothing.
That's right. Nothing. It said foot bone structure nominal.
I thought I saw a bone spur in the picture you posted online.
Oh, it's huge.
Like I was like, wow, it's a bone spur.
It's the size of your half your pinky, man. I'm like, how is a radiologist missing this? I asked my doctor about, and this is important for everybody. I asked my doctor about water intake. I said, I drink from 100 to 150, maybe 200 ounces of water a day. And she goes, ooh. I was like, what do you mean, ooh? We're supposed to drink a lot of water. She said, do you sweat a lot? And I was like, I don't quit. I never stop.
I got home today at 5 o'clock. I said, I haven't had wet underwear since 8:30 this morning.
Exactly.
I'm so ready to get on something dry.
I told her, I said, let me tell you this. I could buy stock in monkey butt powder and come out okay.
Yeah.
But she was like, so I said, my question is water alone good enough? And she said, if you do a lot of sweating during the day, I would drink one thing with, electrolytes, maybe a Under Armour, a Gatorade, a Pedialyte, something. Just one. You don't have to have a lot of it. You don't have to overdo it. But just supplement a little bit with the water. And I said, okay. So there's your food for thought. That came from my doctor who doesn't know what X-ray is, so take that with a grain of salt.
So I do I think I showed you, but like the Gatorade, the powder mix, like the single servings, have you seen those? Mm-hmm. They're a lot cheaper than buying bottles of Gatorade because we drink a lot of bottled water around the house. Like we always have bottled water.
Hot water.
It's not hot water. It's on the floor. It's hot. It's anyway. But so we keep those. So Kim always makes me one of those to go with my Uncrustable in the morning. So it's my my kitty breakfast. And then I try to drink a gallon during the day, and then when I get home, I drink 2 bottles of those Gatorades. Like and that's pretty much every day. Like that's
Yeah.
pretty much the routine. Like I walk in and usually she has one ready for me as I walk in the door. I mean, I would like for it to be a beer, but I need it to be a Gatorade.
Yeah, so that's, and she said drinking a lot of water is good, but sometimes you do need to supplement because you're losing sodium and stuff, when you sweat all day
you
and
get
all
that salt
this.
back in you.
So that's, food for thought. And so we're building 2 jobs next week. Kind of getting a little run around from one of them. Again, it's a regular homeowner without a builder being involved.
Gotcha.
And it's been a headache. Eventually, I'm going to learn not to deal with people. Do
you take a deposit from those guys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was going to say.
Yeah.
That might be why you're getting a runaround. But
yeah, well, it's just simple things like, hey, I need a stain. They're like, hey, did you get our cabinets built? No. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm waiting on a stain color. And then a week later, they give me a stain color. And they're like, so do you think you may have them done in the next couple of days? No. I don't unbox doors until I have all my finish for them because they literally come right out of the box and get painted. They don't sit around here naked and absorb all this, moisture and everything else. So, they don't know. They're super cool people.
Yeah.
They just don't really understand, how this game goes. So we got that. We're building. That's the full inset job. Everything on there's inset.
I'm doing an inset job right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny's your boy on that, on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
But I talked to him. He gave me a couple of pointers on that kind of stuff, which I was ahead of it. He said, well, you're doing good. You already, because I ordered my doors a little big and, so I could trim them to fit the openings, that sort of thing.
These are glass doors. I got to make them.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture.
Let's see. The house is... I don't know where we left off. I think everybody's caught up on the house. It's completely
metal had
dried
just
in.
arrived. I don't know if we had talked, you and I had just talked or not, but I think last thing I heard was metal had just arrived.
Yep. All the metal's on. So the windows, doors are in, metal's on. The plumber was out here today. He was working on getting some top-out stuff done. That's slang for setting tubs, setting shower valves, and top-out is running your vents up in the attic. In my case, it's going to be an attic.
Nice.
Yep. Spray foam is going to come. We're going to be wiring it up this weekend, Travis. So come on down.
Like tomorrow?
I'll see you in the morning. Yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
Why didn't you give me more notice?
Well, I mean, if you really wanted to be here, you'd be here.
Well, if I wasn't committed to a job tomorrow, I sure as hell would be
Tell
there.
him you're sick.
Well, I shouldn't
Tell him you have
texted him
explosive diarrhea and you can't make it.
Well, that would it'd have to be something like that, considering I texted him at 7 tonight and said, hey, we still, right before we sat down, I was like, hey, we still good for in the morning?
Well,
last thing I want to do is wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning for no reason. I can tell you that.
We're all going to have stomach viruses because that remodel job down there in Greenville, the wife says, I'm going to stay out of y'all's way because I have a terrible stomach virus. And her husband figured out that afternoon while he was cutting the grass, he has a stomach virus as well. And she walked by like 10 times. And I'm like, that's great. Why don't you just cough on me?
Got a little batch of COVID I can get to while I'm there.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just get the whole gauntlet. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see how this round goes, buddy. So I had a question for you. Not for you, but like specifically, but I think we need to discuss it.
Oh, that makes me very interested.
Well, you may not. You probably won't be. Let's say you hire a guy.
Love to. I actually did today.
But when?
Today.
What are you talking about, hired a guy?
I did hire a guy.
Okay.
I did.
For what?
Every other Monday night, he's going to come and clean the shop.
Okay. All right. Let's say you hire a guy for...
That doesn't count.
You and this bougie stuff. No, that don't count.
Well, he's just going to make sure that the trash gets out to the dumpster and sweep and everything right before trash night. He's 15.
Oh, well, okay. I'll accept that.
He's the homeowner's son. So he's got to walk
Well, now
outside.
It's making more sense.
Yeah. I was like, hey, does he want a little side gig? He's like, he would love one. He's been trying to find a job. I was like, I got something I need. So
That's
he's just going to drag the waste bins out to the dumpster and sweep and vacuum all the tabletops and all.
And then he's going to help you mill lumber Then he's going to help you on the install. Then he's going to help you
I don't know
cabinets.
because I have extreme concerns that he's going to be able to lift a scrap bin into the dumpster.
You'll find something for him to do.
He's a little small fella.
Why don't you come in a few hours early and you can help me load these cabinets? Oh, you ain't doing nothing tomorrow? Oh, well, why don't you come? That's how it starts, dude. I'm telling you.
He's smart, kid. So, he'd catch on.
Yeah, so let's say you hire somebody just to get your thoughts.
Okay.
What is your phone policy going to be in the shop during working hours?
Oh, see, I feel like that I shouldn't have to have a phone policy because I hired an adult.
And that's why you and I are best friends.
I mean, I feel like if I hired the right person, I don't really necessarily need a phone policy.
Bingo. So something came up on the cabinet page, and so this dude has 3 employees, and one of them stays on the phone a lot. And he's like, should I just do a blanket policy, no phones, no this? And I was like, no, you should not.
No direct policies. I hate that. I hate blanket policies. Bring that kid in the room and sit down and talk to him like a grown man. Say, hey, you're on your phone too much.
You're an adult. Sometimes you have to do adult things and say, listen, you're on your phone too much, cut it out. Cut it out. And be done with it. And you need to be frank and to the point, right, and take care of it. But the guy who's never on his phone, who now just got told he can't have it,
yeah,
I guarantee you he will not come in the next day with the same attitude as he did today.
And I'll tell this story quickly, but my first real the Marine Corps was really bad about it too, but I didn't really catch on, I guess. But with my first real run-in with blanket policies would be at the police department, the chief would call a meeting and, he would, go and then he would start, telling the entire department about some things that couldn't happen anymore. And it never failed. Everybody knows who he's talking to. It never failed. That the person he's talking to is over there going, yep, that's right. That's right. Can't do that. That's nope. And everybody else in the room is going, bruh, he's talking to you. He's not. You're the only one in the room that does this. Almost every time, without fail, that person be sitting there going, yeah, that's right. That's right. Tell him, chief.
Yeah, we can't have that.
The reason why they're screwing up is because they don't get it to start off with. You got to have a direct conversation. You just got to have a direct conversation. And because, I told him also because if you don't, a blanket policy, you're going to have the guy. All right, let's take the phone incident, right? Well, let's say that yesterday, I checked my phone because I thought that I got a message and I was waiting on, and I needed to know. Let's just say it was an urgent, but I'm never on my phone. But it was just this one. And I made eye contact with the owner that right when that happened.
Yep.
Oh, and then the next day he comes in and he goes, guys, let me tell you something. The phone usage on the floor. I'm going, really? That's the only time I've been on my phone. I feel like because I'm an adult and I'm responsible and I feel like I am getting hammered for the one time that I took 10 seconds to check my phone.
Yep.
Because I for whatever reason, say I got some kind of emergency I need to be aware of, instead of, again, being an adult and sitting down with the person who's the problem. I just don't agree with that.
And one of those guys was like, I tell them not even bring it in. They're not allowed in. They give out the office phone, and if they have something they call the office. I almost missed Riley being born because of that policy.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, we're most people. I mean, again, we're adults. I mean, and most people have a family. They got a wife. They got a kid. They got a mom. They got a dad. I mean, we've all got somebody that probably needs to get hold to us in case of an emergency. But there's a time and a place. There's just,
that's why I'll never tell any of my employees you can't have a phone.
Yeah, that's
because they have family. They got things that happen, and you have to know. You can't take their ability to communicate with their family away from them.
Yeah.
Now, if they're doing it all the time, like I said, you talk to them. If they're doing it while they're running the table saw, karma will work itself out, know.
Yeah.
But
get a workman's comp claim.
But I was dude,
you can find a way, and you can also find kind of an indirect way to have one comment with that person. You wait for the right time and be like, well, I really like to, check my phone, only during breaks. And I'm the boss. I'm the owner. You can kind of drop those little tidbits and see if that person gets it, maybe they won't. And then, and if you don't want to have a direct conversation, maybe you're not a person who's comfortable with a direct conversation. So you kind of drop that little bomb directly to that person. But again, I'm willing to bet that if they're doing that behavior, they're not going to get that you're talking. They're not going to get you're telling them.
Yeah.
So your best bet is just to have the confrontation. Hey, Billy, look, man, like you do good work, but we're losing a lot of downtime, and I feel like you're losing. You're not in the game when you're coming in and out of the phone.
That's right.
There's a lot of things in here that'll hurt you. Like I need you to be in the game the entire time you're here. Now, if you need to go check your phone, say, boss, give me 2 minutes. I got to step out for a second, and like go check it and come back and like, but it doesn't. I don't need to see you scrolling Instagram.
Here's what I told Trey when he started. I was like, break times go like this. If you want to take a break, take a break. You're a grown up. If you want to get a water, go get a water. There's none of that. Break time is from 9 o'clock to 9:10. You can't be. And I said, if you need to make a phone call, answer a phone call, send a text, check it. Check it. And he has complete freedom to do what he wants to do. And when you have an adult that's working here, you know what he does? He uses his phone responsibly. I have never even thought, man, I really wish he'd, really
but
wish
you
he'd
also
get
got to
off that
lead by
phone.
example. You can't do one thing and expect your employee to do another.
Right.
So I would ask that person too, what are you doing with your phone?
Mm-hmm.
What do you, well,
I
got to do this. I'm running the business. Well,
Yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff. And a lot of times, like if I'm over there and I'm texting, a builder or a customer or something, and I'll get done and I'll be like, man, that's such and such. He wanted to know this. That's Sam or Frank wanting to know what kind of hardware they're going to get or something.
Travis screwed up his software again.
Yeah, I got Travis screwed up. Which, by the way, Trey sent a dart your way today.
What?
Oh yeah. Oh, he took a shot at you.
Was it about a door size?
Yep. He made 2 doors. All right, so I just sent him a picture of them with the dimensions and the cut list. And I said, if you want to make them doors, you can do that. Because today was one of those days we had a million things, separate things to do. I'm like, pick one. So anyway, he comes back in here when he gets done. And because I was in the office pretty much all day today. I went to the doctor this morning, and then I was working on drawings. But he came in there, and he's like, yeah, well, I made them doors. I said, really? He's like, yeah. Just tell Travis it wasn't that hard. Wasn't that hard to make them the right size.
No, it ain't that hard, but boy, it sure does seem to be difficult sometimes. Hell,
he's like, you need to say something too during the podcast about how
I wish I knew, man. I wish I knew sometimes what happened. I mean, just
yeah. Hey, don't let me sit here and tell you I don't ever do it.
All right,
I make plenty of them.
Now the comments my wife's throwing at me here lately is getting a little excessive. I mean, just a little excessive. Little comments about some extra door. Hey, well, you think them extra doors might look good in the laundry room, or like?
I forgot what I was going to say. Dang it, I was going to say something smart, Alecky, but
well, good. I took that away from you.
I forgot. It wasn't against you though. That's the bad part. Oh, we're going to get a full size refrigerator for the shop.
Are you?
Yep, I've been scouring Marketplace.
Oh yeah, that's the best place to pick one up.
Yeah,
I got mine for $40.
We got I gotta look because we don't need anything special.
Yeah,
but we've got to get something to hold more than 10 waters at a time. We go through 10 waters before lunch.
Yeah, and
the rest of them aren't cold yet, so I'm going to just get a full size, and that way I could put some what do you call those things, like the frozen it's like the frozen popsicles, but they got electrolytes in them.
I haven't seen these.
They give them to football players, like in high school. They get all hot and sweaty, and they eat the little.
We were in the band. Don't know what you're talking about.
And our band director didn't give us anything like that. You ever think about that?
My mama told me I was too little and too white to play football.
Yeah, you ain't lying. He never. I believe Mr. A would have let us die out there on that field.
Oh, for sure.
You remember well, I don't know if you were there that day, but one of the last years we were in, I remember we were at the old field practicing, and Mr. A said, "Remember, y'all don't lock your legs." And somebody locked their legs and looked and went down, and Mr. A got on the bullhorn and said, "I told you not to lock their legs." And I'm like, she's passed out. What
never moved. Never moved. I'm going to tell you something. People make fun of me for being in the band, but this is no lie. When I got to Marine Corps boot camp and we started doing drill, I was like, brother, this is like an easy day at the park. I mean, dudes were struggling on the parade deck. I mean, it's hot out. I mean, you're on the parade deck. There ain't no shade. It's just pavement and you and a rifle and some boots. And I mean, and it's just all day long, marching. I was like, this is like easy. What are you talking about? Like, they're like, don't lock your knees. I was like, my knees don't lock no more. Like, I'm unlockable. Like, I've been trained. You know, it was so funny.
Man, it was. I don't know how, dude. Could you imagine going out there now?
I couldn't imagine. I can't imagine being yelled at now. Like,
yeah,
bruh, I'm out.
Who you talking to?
I'm going home.
I had, and I'm going to send you pictures of these. Dang, I need to send you these pictures, but I didn't take them. Anyway, so I saw a friend of mine on Facebook, old school buddy of mine. We used to work together, and the stories I could tell, man, they are hilarious. We had Trey crying today at lunch. But anyway, my buddy, the Don Dada, he gets on Facebook the other day, and he makes these wooden flags, and he stains them and paints them and does all these, different things. And they're fairly simple. As far as he buys the pre-made pine shelving at Lowe's, it's like 3 foot by 5 foot, whatever, 2 foot by 4, whatever. And so he stains the stripes on there, but he can do like, one of them is half the American flag where the stars are, but the other half is the Christian flag, and they like blend together, and it's really neat. And so I saw these on Facebook, and I called him, and I was like, "Dude, I want 3 of these." And he goes, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, these are freaking awesome, man." And what I'm doing is I'm gonna give them to the kids for housewarming gifts.
Oh, okay.
So Riley got one that's black and white. Stars are white, black and white stripes. But then one of the black stripes is blue.
Ah. For
because
her future law enforcement career.
Yep, she's enamored with law enforcement. Thomas, I got him one that was half the American flag, half the Christian flag. I got a couple
suggestions.
All right.
No, I'm kidding.
And then Joseph just has the standard American flag.
Okay. What was Tommy's again? I talked on top of you. What
Tommy's is half American flag, half Christian flag.
Okay, cool.
And I'll send you pictures when I leave. But these things are beautiful, man. Huh. And they're covered in epoxy, so he stains them and he pours epoxy on them, and they're really neat looking. So he brought them. I didn't know he was bringing them. We got to talking, and I said, "Well, what tools do you have?" And he's like, "Well, I got a jigsaw and like a drill." And I was like, "Okay." And I was walking around talking to him, and I saw the Hercules miter saw, the extra one that I bought on clearance because it was a reman or something was wrong. They fixed it. It was like $150.
Yeah.
So I bought it a couple years ago, never turned it on, never used it. And I said, "Well, what do you need?" He's like, "Man, if I had a miter saw, dude, I got to build a deck out here. I want to do some stuff at the house. I've been looking at that Chicago Electric and this and that, and I was thinking, nah." So I told him, I said, "What about that Hercules?" He's like, "Oh, dude, every time I go in Harbor Freight, I just stand over and look at that Hercules." And I said, "Well, I run one every day. Love it. Love it." And I said, "How about this? You come get this one. I've got an extra one." He was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, come get it. Come get it. It's yours.
It's in my way."
Mm-hmm.
You're doing me the favor.
Yep. And I also had an old Hitachi green contractor saw that I got for like $10 off somebody. I don't know. And I said, "What about a little table saw?" He goes, "Oh man, then I could use plywood and I could build this." And he does like concealment flags that you mount on your wall, and it's got the RFID thing. You beep it and it opens up.
Doo-doo.
Yep. And he said, "I could do some more of those." And I said, "Well, I got a table saw for you too. Come get it." So he came over today and he got those 3 flags done in like 3 or 4 days, brought them with him.
Oh, wow.
And you know what he wants, what he was asking for those custom painted, stained, epoxied flags?
$200.
$40.
What? How big are they?
They're huge. They're like 2.5 feet tall by almost 4 feet wide.
How do you get a piece of wood for that price?
Well, that wood is only like $20 from Lowe's, the shelving material that size.
So he's making $20?
No, because he's got to stain it. He's got to epoxy it. He's got $10 in epoxy on it.
That's true.
And I was like, Dwayne, what are you doing? He's like, well, I didn't know really how much to charge. I said, not materials.
Are you selling a lot of them? Are you selling a bunch of them? Yes.
Well, he is, because he's just now getting started and he's getting enamored with phone calls and messages. And, hey, can you do one like this?
Then go up on your price.
I said, go up. And I'm not going to disclose what I paid him, but it was not $40 a piece.
You go up until somebody says, okay. Oh, okay. I hit the breach. Let's come back down $50.
Yep. And so I gave him a check. He's like, Mitch, man, me and you been friends for 20 years, dude. You ain't got I wasn't even really going to charge you. And I said, I don't care what you were going to do.
Yeah.
Here's the money. Here's the saw. Here's the table saw. I said, just go.
I just ripped off a builder on a bunch of cabinets. Sorry, I got it.
Yeah. I just, I just got done with a big job, so I don't care. I got a little money to burn, But he, of course, he almost got a little sappy-eyed on me and stuff. And I was like, look, take it and make money with it.
Yeah.
You're trying to do this, as a side job. You wanting to work. You want to do. And he works for actually, I almost said it. He works in a jail.
Okay.
He's a guard or whatever at a jail. Okay. So anyway, so it was neat. Not neat. It was fun catching up with him today. We told Trey some of the old stories, dude. Trey was about to die at the restaurant today eating lunch, but help these guys out. If you see somebody that is a friend of yours or whatever, and they're trying, and you have, I had the saw sitting there.
Like, comment, and share their stuff. Like that.
Exactly.
I mean, it costs you nothing to like, comment, and share on their Instagram, their Facebook post. If you can't buy it, or it's not something that you're going to buy and that you would use, help promote it, help push it. Like, you can do that for free.
Because I saw it on Facebook and I was like, $40, this is junk. These are going to be horrible looking, And I'll be honest, there's a few bubbles in the epoxy, but he didn't know that you could pop it with a heat gun.
Yeah.
He said, well, I didn't know that. I thought it would blow up or burn. I said, no, it's not flammable. I said, you just take a heat gun and pop those air bubbles. It'd be slick as glass. He's like, wow, I didn't. But like I said, you have to really look to find them. It's not like horrible,
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
That's right. And I'm like,
it's not like he's charging for a premium price either. I mean, he's charging for a little imperfection in it. I mean,
exactly. So I'm gonna send you pictures of these, dude, and they're like straight up, they're cool, man. And so I was gonna hide them from the kids, and Riley came today. I didn't know she was coming, and she was like, "Whose flag is out here?" And I said, "Oh, that's somebody that wanted me to put some clear coat on it, And she was like, "All right." And I was like, "Look at this one," and I said, "Look at this thin blue line one." And she was like, just couldn't believe it. Wow, that is. And I said, well, this one's for Joseph, this one's for Tommy, and the thin blue one's for you. These are your housewarming gifts. Tears start flowing,
Nice.
And I'm like, yes.
That's awesome.
Did it.
You're gonna get me. You're gonna get me a little soft.
So it's because my kids are like that, dude. They are going to flip.
Yeah.
When they see these things, and I say, here, this is from, because I don't buy them a whole lot of stuff, let's be honest.
I really want Joseph to go, it's cool. I mean, it's not a dirt bike, but it's cool.
Yeah. We got, and I'm not going to tell that story, but I like to mess with people like that, and say, well, I mean, it's all right, I mean, it's all right. But anyway, that's cool, and I'll try to share that. He's got to put it on public. He doesn't have, and I told him, I said, you got to make that public so we can share it.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's not near as. I bought something last night. It's not homemade or by anybody that I know, but I can't wait to show it to you. It's not here yet. I'm gonna hang it in my office. But it's completely stupid.
I'm gonna love it then.
But you're gonna love it. Yeah. Really
That's my kind of humor. I love that.
Right.
That I call it Dumb and Dumber humor. That movie, I love it. I love that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, well, the good news is we haven't dropped out.
No.
Our audio hadn't dropped that we know of.
No.
I mean, the internet hadn't crashed.
No. So I had a couple of things.
All right.
I put a couple of notes in there.
I didn't even look at them.
The first one is I wanted to do a tool review.
Ooh.
Yeah, there were two things. I'm trying to remember what the second one was now. Now I can't remember what the second one was that I told you that I bought the other week. So one of them was the Pico pencil.
Yes.
I hate it. Major loser.
Okay.
Major loser. It's too big, for one. So it won't fit my hat clip. And so I tried to put it in my pouch and just use it sheath. It falls out of it too easy. I kept picking it up off the ground.
Because it's top heavy.
I don't know what it is, but it just kind of pops out of that little sheath. And every time it hits the ground, it shatters the lead. It's got that big lead and it's sticking out so far it just shatters it. So you're constantly sharpening it. I was like, this is a complete waste. It's coming. I'm gonna send it to you. You can try it.
Okay, yeah. I'll give it a Trey.
I hate it.
I bought Trey something today.
I was trying to. What was the other thing that I told you that I bought with that?
I don't remember.
I don't either. But anyway, what did you buy, Trey?
I don't know if he'll get it by the time the podcast airs.
Oh, okay.
But I had to use his pen the other day because I forgot my tape and pouch, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah. Technically didn't. It was in the house from when we were, wiring up. It wasn't where it was supposed to be.
Gotcha.
So I had to borrow his, and his pen was all janky and everything. So I got him a really nice space pen.
Right upside down, right anywhere.
Yeah, it's got the pressurized, ink in it. I'm kind of hoping it'll explode on him, but we'll see. But yeah, so I got him one of those because I was ragging on it the whole time. So I'm gonna buy you a real pen, man. This pen is sorry. And I had to use his Milwaukee stud 25-foot tape measure that day, which is complete trash. Complete
wide
trash. I hated it, man.
He loves it.
Well, he says he does, but after I started pointing out some flaws today, I think he might be seeing the light. So let's say you measure floor to ceiling, right? So you stick the dumb end on the floor, you work the other end up. His spirals, like the whole blade, just twists randomly and falls. And when you extend it out past about 6 feet, foop.
I mean, so it's just worn.
It's not that old. So I don't.
Yeah, but we flip a tape measure in and out a ton. Like,
I guess, man. But my Stabila,
my fast caps. I mean, they don't do that.
My German design and engineered tape measure is still A1, buddy.
I will tell you this. Speaking of Stabila, my next little splurge, I'm getting rid of the Milwaukee levels. They're just too dang heavy.
I've got a review.
I like them a lot. They're just too heavy, though.
Would you like me to review the Stabilas?
Yeah, what do you think about them?
I feel like a real cabinet man. I freaking love those things, dude. I love them. Yeah, I can barely hear it. I
have no idea what you said because I hit the applause button, but I forgot to switch it to live. So that you could hear it. It's only a preview mode, so all I could hear was just extreme clapping and cheering in my ears. So
what I said was
that you like them.
I love them. They are light.
Yeah.
After using them, they are noticeably light.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the fact that Trey knocked one down that was leaning against the wall, and it said, "Pow!" when it hit the floor.
They can take it.
But yeah.
It doesn't feel good. You don't like it, but they can take it.
It's going to sound weird, but the bubbles they move a lot smoother I don't know
like
if
the viscosity of the oil is
yeah,
better or something.
I don't know if it's a thicker, liquid, but it's not as jumpy and wiggly. Like, it's easier to read. If you make minor adjustment, the bubble's like, okay, we'll move over a little bit.
I feel your adjustment.
Yeah.
I will show you what it looks like.
And, I'm getting called a real cabinet man. One of the builders said maybe now the cabinets will be level. Things like that happen.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
But yeah, I do 10 out of 10, dude.
Yeah,
I would recommend them.
great.
I got to get the bag for them. But now we call them, Trey calls them McLevels because they're red. They're red and yellow. So he calls them McLevels.
I hear you. I thought I take back my "you hired an adult" comment.
Yeah, we are complete childs.
I know.
We are complete childs. We make words up all the time, and we do it when we're talking to somebody who don't know any better. Try to make the other one laugh. And I'll just make up all these random, the retoidants on this paint right here, it makes it to where you can clean it with stuff. And Trey's like, we went into a gay Mexican place the other day.
Meow. What?
Yeah, went to a gay Mexican place the other day.
I don't know if you can say this. You just took our podcast right down the tube.
Well, I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. We went to a Mexican restaurant that Trey and I were the only heterosexual males in there. There were two, I don't know what you call them now. Don't even get me to try to figure that out. There were two men dressed as women with makeup and tight pants on. There was a gay couple sitting at the bar, and there was a gay dad with his gay son. And these were I'm not just saying I think they were, they had shirts on.
I'm gay.
I mean, yeah. So I'm not judging. I'm just simply saying. So we go to one of the cross dressers was the cashier.
Oh.
And she was like, "Are y'all together or separate?"
Separate.
And,
Separate.
and Trey goes, "Oh no, we together, girl." And walks out. He says that in my ear. And turns and walks out of the Mexican place. And I'm standing there with this dude dressed as a woman in front of me. And I am trying my hardest not to just break out laughing, And I was like, Trey, I'm going to shoot you one day, man.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we love that, dude. I love making up words. And we'll be talking to somebody and I'll make it up. And you can see him. He'll just turn his head and walk away. He's trying not to bust out laughing.
That's awesome.
But anyway.
You know how I like to tell them myself?
You do.
I mean, I like to do it for educational purposes, but I think it also makes people laugh. So, did you see the note? Well, you said you didn't look at the notes.
I'm looking at them now.
You see the one that says the beep screws?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
You want to hear the story?
I do.
So a couple nights ago, I get a call from Derek at 8 o'clock at night. This is unusual. Hey, man, what's up? Not much. Got some bad news.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. I'm totally expecting him to tell me one of the upcoming jobs, we lost it. That's what I thought. Don't worry about doing that job. He goes, the dog crate house, the laundry room house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we hit a water line.
Are you serious?
Wow. Where? In the laundry room? On an exterior garage wall? We hit a water line? Yeah. I don't understand that. I don't understand why there's a water line in that wall. I don't either, but it leaked into the basement ceiling. Pretty big spot.
Oh no.
Wait. We hadn't been there in 2 days. Yeah, not a really big leak, but it finally showed. I said, man, I don't know what to say. I'm just completely perplexed. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, don't feel bad because I talked to the guy that did the remodel, who's a buddy of his. They hit a water line 3 times in the same wall. During the remodel. I said, did he not feel it necessary to tell us? That there's the water's running weird in that wall or something? He's like, I asked him the same thing. But, yeah, so I don't understand. One, there's no logical reason for there to be water in this wall. It is it on the other side of it is the garage. There's no water. There's no water on that wall. But I guess we just barely nicked it. And what's so funny is we were driving a screw up top, and I run it, and it wouldn't go in. I said, we're either hitting a plate or we've hit the jackpot and we've hit screw head to screw head. I said, I don't like that. I'm just going to move to the next stud. Like, if I hit a plate, then I'm done with that stud. Like, if I think I've hit a plate, that stud is out of the factor, like, for me. Yeah. And I went to the next one. So I was like, so I know that, like, we didn't, like, overdrive into something or anything, but I was like, man, well, just let me know, what the cost is, and, we'll figure it out. And he's like, yeah, we'll figure it out, no big deal, I mean, he wasn't overly stressed about it. I mean, it was the first time he'd ever, I guess technically I was the one that hit the wall. I'm not really sure, but who really technically hit it. But he's like, that's the first time it's ever happened to me. I was like, man, that's terrible. Like, I just can't believe it,
Yeah.
So, fast forward 2 nights, maybe, give or take. Sends me another picture. Or sends me a picture. Customer says that the pocket door won't open in this wall. I said,
no.
I said, there was a pocket door in that wall? He goes, apparently. Somehow both of us missed that there was a pocket door in that wall. I was like, I know for sure they're in studs. He's like, well, I was like, but you know how those studs are on pocket doors. They're super
tiny.
thin.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, apparently we drove straight, a screw straight into the pocket door. I was, oh my God. He goes, them damn screws. I was like, I know. He's like, we got to go. I said, they're only 2.5-inch screws. Like, I mean, you can't go any shorter and feel secure. I mean, especially upper cabinets. Yeah. I was like, we can't go any shorter. But I was like, man, that is just, I mean, that's 2 for 2 this week. And the one, luckily both of them were super good, super good customers and understanding. I mean, that obviously, I mean, we try, but I just couldn't believe I look like I'm pretty diligent about looking. I mean, yeah. And that's why when he told me that, I mean, my first instinct on the water wall was, that's a garage wall. Like, what do you mean? And then the second one, I was like, well, you didn't say anything about a door, and I didn't say anything about a door, so I didn't really think. And we had never seen it closed. Like, it was never closed. Yeah. And just completely missed that there was a pocket door in that thing. And run slap through it, though.
I ran into a pocket door one time. Luckily, the screw I used didn't go far enough to do any damage, but I walked by and I was like, what is this? Mm-hmm. In the wall, and there's a pocket door, and I looked in there and I could see my screw like a 1/16 away from the pocket door, and I was like, oh no. And I tell you what else you better keep an eye on, and this is something, we ran across this at the Patel job. Nope, at the Adams job. If you run your stud finder and it just lights up all the way across and starts looking real funny, you need to stop and find out what that is.
Yeah.
In our case, it was a 200 amp main panel in the wall on the other side, because we were on the garage wall, right? So right behind the kitchen was a garage, and if I would have just went wham bam and then just marked randomly, well, it's lit up, must be something back there.
Yeah. Anytime you move that stud finder and it just stays on, don't assume that's some kind of supporting structure. Like,
that's right.
That's a beam. I've heard somebody say it before. Must be a main beam there. Nope. Probably not. Probably not.
So we actually transferred measurements from the other side of the wall. It took like 20 minutes and got exactly where that panel was. And I read above it with the stud finder and marked the studs. I read below it with the stud finder, marked the studs, took a level, lined them out, and I made sure, I said, from the panel is, whatever it was, 40 to 60 inches off the floor.
Right.
We don't put screws 40 to 60.
Right.
We stay above or below that, You have to be careful, man, because man, that stuff will sneak up on you.
Oh yeah,
Quick.
Yeah. I keep saying I need. Have you seen? I can't remember if we talked about it or not. Have you seen the new Craig like stud finder?
Mm-mm.
It's super cool. It's such a stupid. Most of their stuff is super simple idea, but it's old school. It's a magnet. That's all it is, and then it's got a level on it. So there's two of them actually. So it's the one, and it's just got a magnet. It's got a level on it, and then the upgraded one, I think it's $30, $25, $30. It's just a single red laser. Goes down. So you get it on your screw head, you level it, and you're shooting a straight line down.
Okay.
With just that one laser. I was like, that's so simple. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, you just skip down the line, just do a couple of skip marks and move on. Skip marks and move on. I was like, I really want one just to kind of play with it some. I think it just seems so simple.
You're going to be the one that gets the infrared thing that hooks up to your phone, and
I don't trust
it
those
shows
either.
you like rats and stuff in the wall and water
those.
pipes. Yeah, I don't either.
No. Wallbot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust that.
It's probably like $1,000 or something. I'm like,
Well,
do it.
let me ask you about something, because we've talked about it a little bit actually the last like 2 episodes, and it's something that comes up a lot in our conversations. I don't know if we got enough time really to go into it, but we can try. Or do you have something that's short you want to talk about?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I'm done.
Oof.
I'm ready to go. Let's end it. Come on.
All right, I'm going to skip that one then, and I'm going to go.
I'm just kidding. You do what you want to do.
No, I don't, because it's kind of a serious one that I really think we should spend some time on. So I'm going to skip.
Can you give us a teaser?
Trailer maintenance.
Okay. All right.
I think that's something we should spend some time on.
Yeah, we should.
Because
I got burned by not doing trailer maintenance.
Well, and that's the concern. So speaking of the Facebook group, there was a couple of comments here recently. I don't know if you saw. I can't remember which one it was. There was a comment about gloves and table saws. Did you see that one?
I did not.
So this, I kind of laughed because this guy in the UK, apparently, his government issued safety manual said that you're supposed to wear gloves while you're operating the table saw. And he got chastised by a few people for wearing gloves, which we can debate. But two, and I kind of had to join in on it. He got chastised because he trusted the government document to tell him that that's what he should be.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, because the British government definitely knows what you should be doing. I couldn't help it. But so I think I'm pretty sure I know your answer. But what are your thoughts on gloves on table saws?
If I'm running material on the table saw like cut day,
yep,
I 100% without fail always have gloves on.
And see, I've tried it, and I just don't like it. Mm-hmm. But I think if you have a well-fitting glove, all right. So I don't think you can put on Paul's leather gloves, them baggy, or the cheap generic like knit gloves with like the little sticky dots all over them. Mm-hmm. Like, I think you got to get like, and I'm just gonna guess that you're kind of wearing like probably the tighter knit with like the rubber dip.
Yep.
For like just for grip, right?
Yep. And they're $1.37 a pair at Harbor Freight.
But they're relatively form-fitting.
Yes, they're not loose and baggy at all.
Right. So, because this guy was like, "Oh, if you got a glove, it's just going to snatch you down." Yeah, I understand that. But if I hit the glove on the table saw, it's just as done as if I hit my finger. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know what it would do. I don't know what I would like to see somebody do, like a hot dog in a saw stop in a glove.
Oh, they've done it.
Yeah. Have they?
Mm-hmm.
I need to look.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably just as fast.
It still works. Yeah.
But I mean, is it different because of the glove? Does the glove actually make it's pretty much?
Because once it makes contact with the hot dog or your finger, it immediately changes the voltage and activates the brake, just like you didn't have the glove on. It's not a delayed reaction because you have a glove on.
Yeah.
Same technology. As soon as it makes contact with your skin, it's over with.
Yeah.
So it makes no difference.
Yeah,
so,
I think it matters what kind of glove you're wearing.
It does. Now, Charlie does not wear gloves at the table saw, but it's not a safety thing. He's like you. He just didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I started running China birch plywood through the table saw.
Oh, God.
And after about the 15th slit down my finger pad, and it's stinging all day because I'm sweating on it.
Why is that stuff like a bag full of paper cuts?
Exactly.
It's terrible.
So let's think about this. Everybody shut up and listen. You have a thin glove on that increases your slip resistance, right? It adds a little bit of friction.
Because UV is slippery.
You're dealing with pre-finished UV plywood. It's slick as glass, all right? You have to maintain pressure against the fence at all times when you're ripping. So your fingers are riding down this splinter board, and you're constantly jamming your hands full of splinters. So what happens if you're halfway through a rip and you jam a splinter into your finger? What is your reaction going to be?
Oh, shit!
And you let go of the piece of wood.
Yep.
You let it go. And now everything they taught you about running a saw, do not let this piece of wood go. Keep pressure on it. Keep it in place. Keep it locked. Is out the window.
Yep.
Because you have hurt yourself and your brain made you snatch your hands off. So, and that happened to me.
And now you got a board floating around on a table saw.
Now you got a board and you can hear that table saw, that blade just kissing that board, and you're like, ooh. So, my school of thought is with the gloves on, they're cheap because at every job. God, that's so loud. That's exactly what it sounds like, by the way. That's exactly what it sounds like. That little
That's like a 1980s Sears and Roebuck saw.
Yep.
It might need a slight tune up.
So I've had a piece of plywood slip out of my hands with no gloves and rake across the blade. I've had splinters in my hand and I had to snatch my hand back. Now I'm digging splinters out. I have sliced my finger open with the corner of the plywood. So I tried gloves. Again, they are tight. You just don't want a bunch of flop hanging around the wrist. You know how some of them are really big around the wrist. Get it with the scrunchy stuff around the wrist, but it keeps better control of the wood. It's like a micro gripper, right? The things that they sell, push sticks and stuff, they have that rubberized coating on the bottom to grip the wood, to keep it from slipping. It's the same concept. To me, having complete control over the wood and not having to focus on getting a splinter and snatching your hand, 1,000 times safer than raw dogging it and cutting your finger and snatching it back. And absolutely.
I get more of a cut ripping stock than I do plywood.
Oh yeah.
That smooth boy, just that finger where it rides on that top and I'm pushing. By the end of the day, boy, that sucker it's sliced open a couple of times.
It's paper cuts, man, because that 90-degree corner is sharp as a razor, man.
And I've got a pair of gloves that I really like. I got them at Lowe's. They're like cut resistant, but they're that neoprene. They're tight, and I got them for tile. Because you lay tile. The tiles are sharp, and I liked it. And I've tried them so many times. I'm like, it just feels so hot and weird. Like, I don't know.
That sounds like a movie.
Oh, I know what it was in my tool review. I know what it was I ordered.
What was it?
My safety glasses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do remember those.
So I ordered some glasses from Safe Style.
Yes, you did.
Safe Style, yeah. They're okay. They're comfortable. So first of all, I would say I ordered like the semi-translucent frame. I probably wouldn't do that. Do a solid colored frame because the light does weird things in them.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, because they're semi-clear. So the light kind of does weird things in the frame. They're comfortable enough to wear all day. Like, I can put them on and wear them all day long. And they don't fog up. I can breathe. They're breathable. It's got good side protection. Like, I can tell, especially on the table saw, because it's throwing stuff up.
Yeah.
I feel I feel good in them. I bought the lanyard though because I like to just, if I pull them off, I don't want to lay them down because everything in a shop is covered in sawdust. So I thought I'd just let them hang. The lanyard is extremely uncomfortable.
Is it on your neck?
No, it is on my neck, and that doesn't bother me because like all my sunglasses have a lanyard on them, so I'm kind of used to it. It's the way that it attaches to the arms of the glasses though, and then it's sitting behind your ears. Like just kind of the style it's too much right behind the ear. Like if there were just holes in the arms of the glasses and they just clipped on, I think it'd be fine. But it's just too much right there. And
don't
you
mind me.
I'm
taking a picture, so don't mind me.
Oh, you're good. I'm just like wondering why you turned on an ultra bright screen there. I'm scared of what you're doing.
I had to get a picture so I could send it to you.
Oh. I'm
back.
Extremely chastised for trying to do a promotional picture in them. Kim's like, this is that little selfie I did and posted. She's like, this is god awful. She's like, why did you post this picture of yourself?
Can I tell you what I did when I saw it?
Oh, wait. Did you screenshot it?
I kind of laughed to myself. I'm finna send you what you need.
I was trying to get a sponsorship. I did. Hey, I will say this for them. After I posted that, I did get a comment from the company asking me how I like the glasses.
Really?
On social media, I did. Yep. I got a
Tell
direct
them you have
message.
a podcast and your boy wants a pair.
Well, I was kind of like, yeah, we're trying to promote them on our podcast. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those will be good for the pool and the... So, you know, you could have pulled that picture up on your phone and just screenshot it. You had to pull it up on the computer.
Well, I didn't want to look distracted. That's why I did it on the. That's why I did it on the computer. Because see, I was googling it. Look, I can see it right here in Google stuff. You don't never know.
I can tell you're doing something. Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes are all darting around. Your arms in a weird position. Like, yeah. All right. Well, let's start to close this bad boy down. Like, I mean, I feel like we've had a good week.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend? Are you geared down? You working on the house? Or you?
We're wiring the house up.
You are wiring the house
without you.
What?
Yep.
For those of you in audio land, there's a look of disgust on my face because he didn't tell me.
Well, I didn't know. I kind of thought I had a little bit of time, and Tammy was like, "Hey, Mr. Builder, what's next?" He's like, "Well, as soon as the electrician gets done, we can get in there and spray foam it." And I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, hey, Tammy, call the wait, never mind. I'm the electrician.
Yeah, I found out I had to dig the ditch for the builder's like. I asked him, I said, what kind of meter can do I need to get? You know, and I guess I got to get a weatherhead and all that he's like, a weatherhead? I said, yeah, because when the cables come over, you know, and the power lines, they got to go down into he said, oh, no, we don't do that.
In the ground?
I said, what you talking about? He goes, underground, baby. You come off that secondary pole, you dig a ditch, and it goes underground to your house. We don't run overhead lines by house. And I said, come to think of it, I don't remember you ever doing that. And he said, I don't do it. 100% underground.
Looks bad. Is it mostly aesthetics?
I think it's aesthetics, yeah. Which, I mean, think about it. Not having those power lines going, it would look better, you know?
Yeah.
Figured out I had to run the ditch for that. But I don't have to run the wire for the AC.
Well, hey, before you cut that ditch, go ahead and call the internet company and have them stand by out in their yard. So when you cut through the internet line, they'll be right there on the side of the road.
I called them the other day.
Because you know you're going to cut it.
Oh, yeah. I called them the other day and I said, I'm about to dig my water line, so I need you guys are going to drop the Ethernet or the fiber in the ditch with the water line.
Uh-huh.
So that way I can locate my water line. There's a little food for thought for you. Oh. If you bury a water line, put something metal in it. A piece of that metal tape, that do not dig, that caution tape, the red tape. It's got the foil in it.
Yeah.
Run it in there with it because there's no way to locate a PVC water line. There's no equipment that can do it.
Are you running PVC or are you running PEX?
I'm running PVC because I can't find 1.5 PEX around here without a 6-month waiting list. Yeah. Not well. I can find it, but it's not in. I need like an 800-foot roll.
Yeah.
So I'm running PVC, and I really didn't want to do that, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll be hot and sweaty out there in the shop.
Well, in the house.
Oh,
my thing shipped. My stupid buy. So what do you got coming up this week?
We're building two
what can we
jobs.
look forward?
The inset job and another full house job.
Gotcha.
The inset job is fairly small,
Okay.
but the full house is not a huge job. It's an average job.
Did you see that hutch I sent you?
Yes.
I just sent it to you.
With the doors.
That's the inset I got to do.
Wow. Is that out of the program?
Yeah. That's in Cray.
How you going to do those arched doors?
Some jigsaw. Jigsaw. I don't know. I ain't figured it out yet.
Well, I can tell you how you're going to do
I
it.
got to make some kind of template.
I can tell you how you'll eventually do them. You're eventually going to make one template and spend 3 hours getting that curve exactly right.
Oh, yeah.
And then just copy it. But you need to make a bow jig, which is simple to do.
Yeah.
Really thin strip of, I use white oak, screw on both ends in the string. You just tighten the string up until it bows to what you want. Wrap your string and then trace it.
Yeah. Flush cut. I got a couple of flush trim router bits.
Yep.
You
can do that.
Make some templates.
What are you going to do this coming up week?
Well, that hutch is coming up. I need to turn that around in a couple of days, and then, man, I got like 5 $1,500, $2,000 projects.
I have no idea.
Tinies, just
how
tiny
much
things. Benches.
Yeah, and I've never asked you this. I don't think it's anybody's business, but just to kind of give you a heads up, I have no idea what some of these jobs, what you're charging.
I don't know what I'm charging either. I just know I get paid.
Yeah.
I don't. So, I actually don't know what we're. I don't know the total of what we're charging.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I know my.
By the way, there's a new Facebook post called "How much should I charge for this?" Have you seen it?
Oh my God! I'm sure. I hope there is.
Yep. So Dino, hat tip Dino. I don't know if he listens, but he made the group. Him or Nate. Anyway, one of them boys made the group, and it said, "Hey, if you got questions about what you should charge, put it in this group, and we'll discuss it."
I feel like if you need to ask how much you should charge for it, you shouldn't be building it, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, what I've seen is there's a couple of guys on there that are doing this really weird stuff. Like, these are like Mark Brown, people like that in the group that do, like, one of those guys just got done with about a $5 million cabinet job. So, and they're like, hey, what would this go for where you're at? But then there are people that come on there and
there's so many
like,
factors to that. There's just so many. What should I charge for this? I mean, it's just.
But
and for one, I never understand asking that question after it's built.
Oh, I don't either. But these guys are just they do this for a living, right? Yeah. These are professionals, so they know what they would charge. Those guys are asking what could you get in your market for this?
Yeah.
But
if I don't know your market though, well,
that's what they're figuring out. They're like, hey, Travis, in Nashville, what would this go for? And then Mitch in Grady, what would this go for? And then he's over in Los Angeles saying, this is what it goes for over here.
Okay. So, I guess you got to give your location when somebody says, how much would you charge for this? And I say, and I'm in Nashville, and I would charge $6,000 for it.
Yeah.
I got to give my location. Otherwise, the $6,000 doesn't really mean anything.
And those posts are just to see the amazing difference that people are able to get per foot.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you still have guys that come on there and say, how much should I charge for this?
So I saw a post in Columbia, the town where the shop is, okay, said $350, $375 a linear foot for cabinets. Is what this one shop said they're charging. And I just thought that was high.
That price wouldn't go here, I can tell you that. Well, it depends on what you're building. If you get into cherry inset, like where I'm at, that would be white oak inset, soft close, really super custom, oil finish type stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as painted shaker, you get laughed right out of town. I would get your builders.
Yeah. I was like, in my mind, I was thinking painted shakers. I'm like, got to be no more than 250.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just think any more than 250 a linear foot. I don't know.
Yeah. So.
But again, but again, the question was put with no context. What are you charging for cabinets? What kind of cabinets?
Yeah, exactly.
Inset, overlays, paint
and,
grade.
So where we're at, and we've discussed this, and I'm not, we're 2 hours and 4 minutes in. I'm not fixing to start to get into pricing post, but I will say this. If you are doing work for reputable builders and you put in a quote and they're like, well, they may have to take 1 or 2 cabinets off or, little things like that, you better just chill where you're at.
Yeah.
Because here's a news flash for you guys. The builder gives the customer an allowance on cabinetry. Right. You're allowed $25,000 to build your cabinets. I can come in there and think my poop don't stink and say, well, I charge $800 a foot. Nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody cares if you think your stuff is worth $800 a foot. The builder's like, well, okay, that's fine. Go find somebody else to build cabinets for. Not a big deal. See you later.
Yeah.
It's just that simple, folks. All this, I got to have, up in New England, they can get $1,300, $1,400 a foot for half overlay bases.
Yeah.
Painted shaker.
But you got to live in New England, so.
But exactly. What's your cost of living?
Yeah.
So down here where I'm at, it's a bunch of cattle farmers, dude. Like, I mean, you got to be, you got to be realistic.
You got to know your
stuff.
market. You got to know
exactly.
Your market.
But when I was getting every job was okay, yeah. I was like,
Too cheap.
And then when I got to that point where they were like, well, they may have let's delete this weird overhead in the laundry room. That'll get us back where they need to be, because it's only worth so much to the bank.
Right.
And if your house is worth $300,000 to the bank, then you have $300,000 to build that house.
Well, you get to a point where you're undervaluing yourself just to get the job.
Yeah.
And that's not that's not where you want to be.
You can do that too. You can come in too cheap and be missing out a bunch of money. So
I mean, it's like the HOA. We're looking at a couple of projects, the other night when I told you we had a meeting, and we're looking at some renovation stuff, and I was like, we got a couple of quotes. I was like, instantly throw the lowest one out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want the cheapest guy. And I was like, all right, so let's look at the most expensive guy and the second guy, and let's compare them. What are we getting? What can we figure out the differences are? I don't want the cheapest guy, because they're skimping on something to get there. They're going to skimp on the actual workmanship. They're skipping on the product. They're skipping on a process. Like, there's just something that they're skipping to get that low. And I'm talking about especially when they're like significantly lower, $1,000 lower than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Is the general public allowed to go to HOA meeting? Depends
on the HOA setup. Oh, like if you don't live here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Well,
would they let me?
The residents, the residents are only invited to certain meetings.
Yeah.
And I had a really big problem with that before I got on the board, and then I realized when you invite them to the meetings, you can't get anything done.
Yeah.
They talk too much. Like
this place that we do a lot of work for in Wetumpka,
mm-hmm.
I'd noticed a sign that says HOA meeting Thursday at 6 or whatever. And I asked Trey, I was like, you reckon we can go to that? And he said, I don't think so.
I mean, it depends on how many people show up. Like, you could slip in there and nobody would notice. Or if
if I went
here
in
and 6 people show up and be like, I don't recognize you. Where are you?
Yeah. Well, what if I went in and I said, hey, I'm thinking about moving here. I just kind of wanted to.
They'd probably let you stay.
Sit in one and kind of get a feel for you guys.
They'd let you stay, probably.
I might do that.
Just see what it's all about.
Yeah, I've never been to HOA meeting.
It's overrated.
I bet it's a blast, ain't it?
Oh my gosh. Well, I lost a friend last night. Me and another board member had it out.
Ooh.
Well, she wants to act like she's walking around the mall with her husband's credit card. I'm like, we're going to be financially responsible. We're not. This is not a government program.
Some people don't like to hear that.
No, this is not a government. This is not a government-run operation. We're going to be financially responsible.
Yeah. You better watch out. They're going to. Hey, you
well,
better watch.
Well, if we renovate this, we can charge more for using it. I was like, so we're going to charge more because we spent their money on it, and it's their resource to use already.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's going to fly very well. I say, why don't we just start charging admission to the pool too?
Yeah.
Well, that's just being ridiculous. I was like, I don't think it is.
Well, I mean, you better watch out if you try to look out for the common man that might indict you.
Right? Oh yeah, yeah. Get my mug shot.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
A lot of that going around, buddy.
Well,
all right, let's wrap it up. I do want to do a shout out to Jason B.
Yep. It
Hope
seems
you
to
made
make
it
every
through
podcast somehow. Not happy how you made it on this one though.
Yeah. Thinking about you guys up there, man, praying for y'all. He said it's 285,000 people out of power. They had a big storm come through. So
completely smashed by the storm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like our hometown, like when a hurricane would come through. Like it was just. Yeah.
And I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think they get storms like that a lot up there.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that climate up in Michigan.
Yeah, because we get those. If you watch us down here in the summertime.
Oh yeah.
We get a lot of those.
That's a Thursday.
Yeah.
That's a Thursday in the South.
Here he comes.
Well, also give us a shout. Let us know what you think about the audio from this episode. I mean, obviously we'll listen to it as well once it's published, but I'm curious to see, did what we do make it better? Did we make it worse? Dear God, I hope we didn't make it worse. Because you've turned it. If we made it worse, you've turned it off by now. Nobody's made it through 2 hours of it being worse.
Just wasted 2 hours of my life.
Oh gosh! But
well,
but we're trying. We're trying to spoof this thing up and get it better and get something consistent. I
might get Tommy to show me how to upload it. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna be here, and I may download it into our editing software and just hit the play button and see what happens.
Yeah.
So we'll. Just see what it sounds like. Hopefully it sounds good. The meters are reading like it's fine.
It feels like it sounds better. It really does. So I'm hoping. I mean, but I don't really love having to have the microphone so close to us. But if it produces a better audio, then and maybe we need to maybe next step is we do some research and get better mics.
I've got a humdinger of a microphone out there, buddy.
Well, you do, don't you? That's the one that kept crashing.
It's either that or
the thing, yeah.
Well, the thingamajig.
Or it was the software. I mean, there was a couple factors.
Who knows?
We don't know.
You don't know what you're going to get next week.
Old Hot Pants, she doing okay? She made it through okay?
Yeah, she's doing good.
I laughed so hard. Golly. Oh, man.
Yeah, she got attacked by the water hose today. She was out giving the goats water, and the water hose fell out of the thing and flipped up on the fence and just soaked her, man. She came in the shop. I was like, what happened to you? And she's like, the dang water hose came out.
Did you tell her to take off her wet britches again?
Yeah. Well, the clothes got to come off again,
They're
baby.
wet.
Here we
They're
go.
Wet.
Here
take
we
them
go.
off. Trey, turn around.
Trey go in the office for a little while.
Oh, all right.
But yeah,
well,
all right, man. It's
word of the
late.
Week? Yeah, I got to go.
Word of the week. It's going to be a bunch of words.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Thank God it's over. Oh,
how about
real quick.
Payday?
Yeah, Payday. Yeah, I like that one too. You ever watch The Office?
Yeah, not a lot, but yes.
Okay, did you see the scene where Dwight's aunt died and it was their tradition, being a shroot, it was their tradition to stand around the casket and like state actual facts about the person that's dead?
No.
So this one dude comes up and he's like, you had the largest farm at 1,936 acres. And then Dwight comes up and he's like, you were 5'2" when you died. You were 5'4" 3 years ago. And he steps back and somebody comes up and goes, has anybody mentioned her hair color yet? And they're like, no. And he goes, you had blonde hair and blue eyes. And so today, we always pray over the folder whenever we put it up, right? So today we did that for Patel. And Riley was here. And so we did that. Me and Trey, we were like stating random facts. Trey's like, you had 19 vanities and 2 kitchens. And I went and I was like, you had huge tiles on the floor and it made it very precarious to walk on. And we did like 10 of those, dude. And then Riley's like, what are y'all doing? And I'm like, you wouldn't understand.
Way above.
So she said the prayer over it. We put the sucker in the filing cabinet and on to the next one.
Locked it.
Yeah. All right, enough rambling.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. Drop us a line. I mean, we're getting lots of comments. We're getting lots of interaction coming back. That's fun. Next week, I think we should do a firehouse post, a Facebook post, right before we record, so we get some comments. That was kind of fun.
Yep.
We'll see how your news segment went. See what kind of feedback we get on that. It was different. I liked it. Some different information coming in.
I'm gonna start sprinkling some weird stuff in like that. Maybe like random woodworking facts.
I like it when you sprinkle your weird.
Ooh, I got plenty of it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Go after it. Find a project. Knock something out. Start something small. Hey, even if you don't start on something small, start some small investing. Some small investing in your future, your retirement. You know.
Yep.
Hey, money saved is good. Money invested, even better.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We appreciate you. Be safe.
See y'all.